Alright, so this is technically the second Rune Mei guide we're doing, right? Because the first one, the video a couple of days ago, I named it like Break Effect Ting Yun, right? So my current Rune Mei is 4000 health, 4100, 2000 defense, 166 speed, 170 break effect. With her trace, that's plus 20, so that's 190, and 124 energy recharge. Yes, that's the current build. Ideally, you want 180 break effect, so 160 is enough because her passive gives her 20 more, right? Like here. So 160 is enough. Then you go for energy recharge, speed, and the rest is bulky stats, right? Her build is quite normal, I say. There's no like weird wealth build kind of level stats, right? It should be pretty normal, yeah? So ideally, break effect, then regen, then speed, then tank stats, yeah? Alright, relic. I run speed set and Penacony set because I'm gonna run it with like Jinglu, right? Here's some nice stats. HP, speed, break effect, speed, defense, break effect, defense, HP, speed, break effect, HP, defense, defense, break effect, HP, regen, defense, speed, break effect. Yeah, seems good. Normal, relatable build. I mean, like, realistically, anything above 180 doesn't matter, right? So if I change this full defense piece into, like, a more break effect piece, with this, I'll have, like, 182 plus 20. So that's, like, 202 break effect, right? That doesn't really matter too much. I lose, like, 60 defense and 20 flat health, right? The only thing that changed is your ult will now delay by 50% instead of 46%. Okay, let's talk about ability next, right? This is her talent, right? Increase the speed of all ally by 9.2%. At talent level 10, this should be 10%, and the damage should be 120%. Whenever your ally or anyone on the team breaks an enemy shield, Rune Mei will do damage equals to, I think max talent is 120% of her ice break damage, right? This does not get affected by ice damage orb. If you have that on Rune Mei, it doesn't. It scales strictly off her ice break effect and then resistance down and stuff, right? This is roughly 11,000 damage at 180 break effects, or maybe more if you have like a lot of defense down on enemy, right? The difference between 180 break effect versus 300 break effect on Rune Mei is like 11k damage to like 15k damage without any other sources, right? Going super high break effect on Rune Mei doesn't really affect this damage too much. What does ice break effect mean? The base damage of a break is 3,700 something, right? At level 80, right? Fire break is like a ×3 ×4 something, right? And then physical break is really high as well. Ice break is a 1-to-1 ratio. So ice break is really weak in terms of damage. If Rune Mei was like physical element with this passive, she'll be fucking slapping people for 30k every time your ally breaks a shield. This damage isn't a follow-up damage, right? Whenever you break a shield, this damage just appears, right? This damage just fucking appears. It's like a 10k damage that appears whenever you break a shield. It's pretty comfy. It's just extra damage. I would compare this to, you know, how Ting Yun does it, you know, like for her skill, right? When Ting Yun attacks, she uses her ally to do bonus damage. When her ally attacks, her ally does a bonus line of lightning damage. It's basically that, right? But this triggers on a break. She just exists and then the damage is there, right? You have to break a shield. That's why her kit allows for shield break, right? Let's talk about skill. After using her skill, Rune Mei gains overtone, lasting 3 turns. This decreases at the start of Rune Mei turn, increased damage dealt by all ally by 32%, and weakness break efficiency by 50%. At first, I honestly thought the weakness break efficiency was gonna be like 20% or something, but it's 50. You break every shield 50% faster. This is dumb. But okay, I'll take it, I guess. So this functions similarly to how Fu Xuan E functions, right? Basically, will never wear off. The cooldown is on her turn, right? I don't know why people like to build slow, because I swear we went through this topic like 3-4 times already, right? Oh, let's build a slow Lulicha so his field lasts forever. Let's build a slow Fu Xuan so her field lasts forever. The field lasts forever kind of regardless. Just build her higher speed so she can ult more, right? And plus, she buffs the speed of everyone on the team but herself, so you kind kind of want to go first, so you can put your ult in first, right? Her skill also increase your damage bonus by 32%. A damage orb is 36, so that goes basically a damage orb. But the broken thing is this. This is the reason why you want 180 break effect on her. For every 10% break effect above 120, you gain more damage bonus, up to 36. So you give your team a total of 68% damage bonus, right? That's roughly 2 orbs, right? 2 orbs worth of damage, that's a lot of stat. It's basically permanent, unless you get stunned 2 turns in a row. This buff is fucking permanent, right? Her ult costs 130 energy, as you can see here. And what it does is, it allows all your teammates to ignore 25% damage resistance of the enemy, right? Everyone focus on this part, but they don't read the fucking paragraph below. This shit is what makes Rune Mei hilarious. She's an offensive and defensive support, okay? When her field is up, whenever you break an enemy shield or hit an enemy with the shield already broken, you delay them by 20% of Rune Mei's break effect plus 10. At 180 break effect, this means you delay enemy by another 46%, right? Let me explain you basically how break effect works. Whenever you break an enemy shield with all element, right, you delay them by 20 to 30% on the turn order, right? So they drop down on the turn order. The faster they are, the more impactful this is, basically, right? Because it just drops them down by a lot, right? Quantum and Imaginary delays by 40 to 50, right? Freeze works differently than what people imagine. What Freeze does, it doesn't skip the enemy turn. Freeze will freeze the enemy, but after they unfreeze, they skip the turn order by half, right? So it's not really a stun, it's like a half off, right? But Rune Mei ult will make every freeze a fucking turn skip. They'll get delayed by like 126% or something, right? The good thing about this and why it's broken is it's a field, right? It doesn't have to be her that breaks. It can be anyone that breaks. As long as her field is up, whenever you break an enemy shield or hit an enemy that's already shield broken, when they try to recover, they get delayed by 50% more if you have 180 break effect, essentially, right? This is hilarious because you can technically freeze bosses that couldn't be froze with this because it's the same thing. You delay them by 50, you cut their turn order by 50, and it just exists. No effect hit rate needed, it just exists. It's just there, right? This is dumb. I don't know, like, I mean, her offensive buff is fine, but they added this shit. I'm like, what the fuck? On top of the fact that she makes every shield break 50% better, right? You break shield 50% better. When you break a shield, they get delayed by much more, right? Normally, a shield break of every normal element that's not quantum and imaginary delay enemy by 20 to 30. With Rune Mei, it's gonna be 70 to 80, right? So every time you break a shield, that's a fucking full turn skip, yeah? Okay, her ult costs 130 energy, right? And she has the exact same passive as Ting Yun. No way! So, you know, when I made the video about break affecting Yun a couple of days ago, damn, you know, it was right. No way! No way! Same ult cost, same passive? No way! Right, so what it does is, it's, thank God it's like this, because I don't have to redo all the fucking math with it. We don't have to, so the build is exactly the same. So here's a very nice infographic that my chatter made, MK Mirai, right? So this is basically the Rune Mei build, right? I think the only thing we're missing is like a very scuffed drawing of Rune Mei in the corner somewhere, and that'll be perfect, right? This is a perfect guide. Right, so there's 2 builds for Rune Mei. You either do a 4-turn ult or a 3-turn ult, right? Now, unfortunately, the 3-turn ult, you need S5 Meshing Cogs or S5 Memories of the Past, or you believe that she is like Ting Yun and she'll get hit once every 3 turns, right? Then you don't need S5. If you have S4, you'll be stuck at 129.37 energy. I'm not even kidding. That's fucking tilting. So S5 is when you actually get the 3-turn ult with skill basic, right? Other than that, you can run a 4-turn build. A 4-turn build generally match up with your DPS more, right? Because most DPS has a 4-turn ult, realistically. But a 3-turn ult allows your team to delay more often, right? The 4-turn ult is like when you use her 5-star light cone, or a very funny build, and one of the reasons why I refuse to believe it's Meshing Cogs as a 3-star light cone. You know why? Because if you run Meshing Cogs S5, you can run speed set, break set, plus a break effect rope. You don't have to build any energy recharge at all. This light cone alone guarantees a 4-turn ult on its own. Like, this shit is not a 3-star light cone. This shit is dumb. If you have this Lycone S5 and you think you can't build enough break effect on Rune Mei, you can build break effect rope on Rune Mei with this Lycone and guarantee a 4-turn ult. You don't need an ER set, you don't need an ER rope, right? Like, that's how bullshit this is, right? This shit's also mistranslated. We've tested from like patch 1.2 to patch 1.6 right now, right? This is mistranslated as hell. This does not work on your turn alone. The cooldown isn't on your turn. The cooldown is on everyone's turn in the game, right? So if 5 enemies hit you, you get 40 energy bonus. Basically, it's dumb. So that's one of the two builds, yeah? So either a 3-turn ult or a 4-turn ult, right? For 3-turn ult, S5 cost, max ER and bonus. So you have Memories of the Past, so you can get more break effect, right? Memories of the Past also give you 56 break effect, so that's really good. 4-turn ult is you either use Bronya Light Cone or her own Light Cone, or S5 meshing cogs is all you need, right? So yeah, that's the two builds. So let's go over her Light Cone option, right? The Memories of the Past, it gives you 56 break effect and 8 energy every time you basic attack. In my opinion, this is the best Light Cone for her because it ensures you get a 3-turn ult and you also get 56 break effect, right? The 3-star option would be meshing cogs because you get 8 energy on basic attack or when you get hit, right? So if you have like maybe S3 of this Light Cone and you pray that you get hit once every 3 turns, then you always get 3-turn ult anyways, right? For 5-star option, you have this, right? One of the reason why I don't use this is it's okay, right? But it sticks you at 4-turn ult. And if you want to line up more big ults, then the 4-turn ult is better. It's more for damage per screenshot. In my opinion, this Lycone is only really good at Superimpose 3 or higher because at that point, it actually gives you enough energy, right? It increases your break effect by 60%. When wearer casts ultimate, increase all damage of ally by 24%, and you get 1 skill point, right? At the start of each wave of enemy, all ally regenerate 10 energy immediately. This is obviously really good with stuff like Argentine and stuff, right? I prefer a smoother damage rotation, yeah? It's only enough energy at S5. S5 gives you 20, right? S5 gives you 20, yeah? I mean, yeah, that's a lot, sure. The reason why I don't think this is like super necessary unless you have really high is you go from what, 68% damage bonus to like 92% damage bonus, right? The only way I would imagine using this Light Cone is, for example, instead of running damage orb on your DPS, you can technically just run, you know, attack orb on them if you have a Rune Mei Light Cone. Obviously, damage bonus kind of scales off at around like 180 and shit, so that's really far off. I think Zui Yi is the only one that can easily reach 180, 200 damage bonus right now, yeah. Unless you run Rune Mei, plus an attack buffer, plus elemental orb on your DPS, then I guess it hit like very high. But realistically, I don't like this Lycone too much because it's more damage, sure, but it's very damage per screenshot is what I'm trying to say, right? At higher copies, this shit basically gives you another skill. Like, it just doubles your skill, so that's really good. And the 20 energy per wave, this should scale with energy recharge, so this would give you like what, 28 energy some shit, or 24, 25 energy, so that's a lot, right? What about Rune Mei Bronya team? Bronya does have an attack buff, right? So that's good, and Bronya E gives you damage bonus, right? Bronya E gives you damage bonus, her ult gives you attack and crit damage, right? So you can run like full damage bonus and let Bronya turbo buff one character. That's really good, right? Like, okay, for hyper carry team, I'm pretty sure Bronya still wins off everyone. The skill point is also big. It's not as big as you think it is. It's 1 skill point every 4 turn, unless you have like 5 copies of it, right? Then it's 1 skill point every 3 turn, right? Because you never get a 3-turn ult unless you get hit twice with this Light Cone, right? With max energy recharge. A lot of people ask either you should get the Light Cone or you get E1. I prefer the 3-turn ult, right? With the 3-turn ult with the 4-star Light Cone and E1, I maintain the 20% defense ignore and the 25% elemental ignore, right? I think that's really good. Also the delay and shit, right? And the other choice that you have is obviously the Bronya Light Cone. So for Bronya Light Cone, even at higher copies, I think you need to get hit once in order to get a 3-turn ult. Most bosses already AoE. True, most bosses does AoE hit, so it's pretty simple. Realistically, sure, you can use these 2 5-star and then the 4-star and then the 3-star, right? The other options are good, but personally, I prefer maintaining a good ult uptime, right? Get hits once every 3 turns. I mean, with Rune Mei's passive, she might steal the kill, right? Whenever you break an enemy shield, the damage numbers appear, right? She might steal a kill from your DPS and get her ult back, you know? So I guess that works. I guess that fucking works. She might yoink the kill away and the energy away, so you don't need super high refinement. For traces, I would run skill, ult, and then talent, or ult, skill, talent. They're both basically the same value. You kind of want both. And then talent last. Talent gives you like up to 10% speed for every ally except yourself, and 120%, right? That's pretty comfy. And for Eidolon, E1 is really good. 20% more defense ignore. That's just, you know, AoE defense down, right? E2 is whenever ally damage an enemy with their shield broken, they increase their attack by 40%. That's roughly like 500 attack for all characters, essentially, when you hit an enemy with like a broken shield. I guess that's pretty good. E4, whenever an enemy has a weakness broken, you get 100% break effect for 3 turns. Sure. Sure, whatever, man. 100? Sure. E6, increase your ult duration by 1 turn, right? Honestly, this is kind of dumb. And your talent break damage multiplied. Yeah, so like this makes her, whenever an ally breaks, she does like 30k damage, right? Or fucking 40k damage because you get E4 onto E6, right? Like an E6 Rune Mei, you can run Rune Mei Light Cone. If you have an E6 S5 Rune Mei, whenever an ally breaks a shield, she'll do like 50k damage or some shit. She'll do like 50k damage. Her ult lasts 3 turns, and it's probably 3 turn cooldown as well if you have E6 S5, right? So she becomes a DPS at E6 S5 basically, because you have like 300 break effect or higher, right? Way more? Yeah, probably like 60k damage because of her E1, right? Yeah, I mean, like if you have E6 S5 Rune Mei, sure, whenever an ally breaks a shield, you do like 60k damage, like passively. So that's a lot. That's like better Himiko. That's kind of sad. For set effects, you run, where is it? 4 speed set or a 2 speed set and a 2 break set. I wouldn't run the 4 break set because like the 4 break set only works if you inflict a weakness break, if you break itself. I know a lot of people were trying to say that her passive triggered this. Like, it shouldn't. If it did, there's gonna be a lot more OP character builds out there, right? So I think the strongest thing about Rune Mei is that she's a Nihility and Harmony character at the same time, because this delay thingy would matter a lot more than you think. This delay thingy is quite good. So that'll be the end of this very quick Rune Mei guide. Am I missing something? I went for stats, I went for trace, I went for relic, I went for Lycon, I went for Eidolon, right? Editor back to the trenches, 07. Next video!